What's up, my people? Welcome back. Today I'll take you through all you need to know to master mapping in make.com. Quite a powerful skill, I have to say. You don't even know. I'll use practical examples, so by the end of the video you're a mapping guru. Let's jump into it. So before getting started, there are two important things that you need to know before understanding mapping. So one thing is mapping only works on arrays. That is a list of items. It could be a list of names, it could be a list of objects, it could be a list of numbers, etc. Okay. Secondly is there's this statement that will help you better understand how the mapping function works. So it's from A, I want B, where C is equal to D. I know this doesn't make sense right now, but it will in a few, okay? Going back here, let me just open up this array of ours over here. So you can see we have an array here. So let's take an example over here. We have a list of customers and their respective subscription status. So we can see here we have customer 1, customer 2, and in each customer detail, we have their name, email, and the status of their subscription. So let's say I'm running a software company and I have a list of customers and a list of customers who've paid and not paid. Now I want to look through the entire list of customers to get back the customers who haven't paid so that I can send them an email for them to pay their subscription. So in this case, I want to check through our list. So from A, which is our array, from A, I want email where status is equal to pending. Now you see where our statement comes in handy. From A, I want B where C is equal to D. So from our array, I want the emails where status is equal to pending. Make sense? So I'll come back here and let's just do that practically. So what I'll do here is I'll just bring this down here and add set variable module over here. So let me just search for set variable. And in this case, we want pending emails. Okay, so this is the name of the variable. Now what will be within this variable is the list of emails of customers who haven't paid. So for that, we'll use the map function. Map, then I'll put the parentheses, the starting parentheses, to turn it into a function. You could also just go over here to array functions, where the array functions over here, then just select on map. Where's map? Over here. So you can see from map, we want to pass in the array, or rather the list of items that you want to check through. So in this case, we'll get it over here. So that's our array. And what do we want to get back from the array? We want to get back the emails. So I'll just type in email. Notice I've typed in the text email. I haven't gone ahead to select the email field over here. That wouldn't work. Okay. You have to type in the actual text. So I won't get back the email where the status. Okay. So where the status, you proceed to type in status over here. And how you know what to type in is you can hover over the actual item and see. You see over here on the left, this left square, you're seeing status, then there's text, then there's raw status. So the exact thing you're seeing there on raw is what you type in within this field. So I'm typing in status as is. Then where status is pending. Okay. So we're checking through our list of customers. We want to get back the email where the status is pending. So I'll save that. Then let's run this once. Then if I check in the results, I can see pending emails. We have mutiso@gmail.com and gavu@gmail.com. So if I go to the first module here to see if that's the case, you can see mutiso is pending, delight is successful, but gavu is pending. So that's perfect. And just to show you how we come up with this array, we're just using our pass.json module, which just takes in a string and outputs a JSON object. Okay, that's what you're seeing here. We have our JSON string. We want to get back a JSON object that we can be able to use in our map function. So that's working perfectly. Let's assume I wanted to check for customers who've actually paid for their subscription. I'd come here and check through our list. I want to get back the emails of customers who've paid. So in this case, I will change this to be success. Then when I save that and run it, we should see the other emails. Pending emails, you're able to see delight and Treshu. Okay. Perfect. So let's close on that. So you're not able to see the value of this map function when you're having an array that has few items, like 4 or 5 customers. But the value of this function actually comes in play when you're dealing with, let's say, hundreds or even picture thousands of customers, and you need to check through those thousands of customers, which of them haven't paid their subscription, or which of them haven't, let's say, submitted their data, something of the sort. So let's ramp up the complexity of using this function. So we'll go to the next one over here. Let me just bring this scheduler on this module. Then what I want to do is let me unlink this, take you over here, then bring you down here. Can bring you down here. Let me just disconnect this and connect it accordingly. So in this case, we have another array. Okay, I'll just open it up so that you can see the array we have. In this case, it's a list of customers and where they are from. Okay, so you can see first we have John Doe, who's from United States, in New York. We have Jane Smith from Morocco, etc. So let's say I want to get back a list of customers who are from USA. So in this case, let's come back here to our set variable tool. The array we want, let me just put it in place. What do you want to get back? Let me just expand on this array so that we see what we want to get back. We want to get back the name of the customer. So you can see raw first name. So exactly as it's been put over there is how I will type it. First name. So first name in camel case. I want to get back the first name where the country, so I'll just type in country, is USA. Perfect. So I'll save on this. Let's run it. And let's see what it gives us. So I'll expand on that. Pending email. Okay, we should have called it pending emails. Let's say USA names, something of the sort. So I'll save that. Then run once. Then you can see if I expand on that, you can see the USA names is we have John. Okay, we have only John who's from USA. And if I clearly go here, you can see it's only John who's from the United States of America. Let's turn Akiko to being from the US so that we can see Akiko as part of that list. So I'll save that, then run once. Then if I expand on this, you should see USA names. We have John and Akiko. Okay, so let's say I want to see customers from Morocco. So I'll come back here, change this to Morocco. Can I really type? Perfect. So I'll save that, run once. Expand on this, you can see USA names, okay, Morocco names is Jane and Fatima. And if I expand on this, let's see, we have Jane there who's from Morocco and Fatima who's from Morocco. Perfect. So you're starting to see the value of the mapping function. So let's ramp up the complexity. Let's go to this next one. So I'll take this scheduler to it and link this over here and just drag it over there. Then I can bring my module over here. Then connect it accordingly. So let's see our array here. So we have another array, which is our list of customers and their respective interests, as well as the type of customer they are. Are they a high ticket customer or a low ticket customer? So you're able to see that accordingly. We have Sarah, who's a high ticket customer, and their interests are that. We have Tom, who's a high ticket customer, and their interests are that. Okay. So let's say I want to get the interests of our high ticket customers. So for that, let's go back to our set variable module over here. So let me just zoom in over on that. So I want to map. What do I want to map? Our array. We want to check through our array to get back interests of our high ticket customers. So I will expand on this array. So interests, you can see interests is actually I just type in interests, where type of customers, so where type, I'll change this to type, is high ticket. Perfecto. I really typed properly. Okay. That's meant to be, look at me. Let me just remove that. Perfect. I hate it when make.com pops this thing up, so I'll just have this in place. Ticket. Ticket. Perfect. So we're checking through our array to get back interests where the type of customer is high ticket. Okay. So if I save on this, then run once, should be able to get back a list of our customers. Okay, I should name it USA names. In this case, let's name it high ticket interests. Perfect. So I'll save that, run once. Perfect. Let me zoom on that. Let's see our high ticket interests. So here we get back a list of our high ticket interests. So if I expand on that, you can see it's 3 lists, and each list, if I expand on that, you can see contains a bunch of interests for each high ticket customer. So you can see hiking, photography, and cooking is clearly something that Sarah is into, and Sarah is a high ticket client. If I see here, Tom is a high ticket client and is into gaming, technology, and entrepreneurship. So if I go back here, you can clearly see that's the case. So if I expand on that, on the second array, you can see gaming, technology, and entrepreneurship. So we're getting back that accordingly. But let's say I want to just compress all these arrays into one single array. So for that, I'll use a function called flatten, which just brings together a list of lists into one list. I know that makes sense, but let me just show you that in practical sense. I'll take it to the beginning here, flatten, parenthesis, then I'll add a closing parenthesis at the end here. And you can clearly see flatten returns a new array with all the sub-array elements concatenated into it recursively. Okay, what that simply means is if we have a list of lists, each item within the sub list will be taken to the parent list. Just to see that practically, I'll save this, then run once so that you can see that practically. Remember, initially it was a list of lists, but in this case you can see they're all flattened into one list, which is called the high ticket interest. That wasn't part of this tutorial, but just to show you how you're able to work with these functions together. Okay, so I'll close on that and let's ramp up the complexity. Okay, so we'll go to this next one here. I'll take the scheduler on it and link this so that I can take you over there, then bring you down here, connect you in accordingly. Then let's see what's our next list. So our new list here is a list of employees within our organization and their respective roles, okay, as well as permissions they have to access our system. So you can see here we have Liam, who's an admin, and he has read. He doesn't have read permissions on the system, but he has write permissions as well as delete permissions. Then we have Eva, another employee. Their role is an editor. They have read permissions, so they can read information within the system. They can write to the system as well as delete. Okay, they can't delete anything from the system. So you're able to see the different employees and their various permissions. So let's say I want to get back a list of employees who don't have read permissions on the system. So let's do that practically. What I'll do is go to this module over here. Let's remove this flatten, whatever it is. So flatten function, remove that ending parenthesis. Then let's pass in our array accordingly. Okay. So from array, I want to get back. What do I want to get back? So let me expand on this array. Let me just center it properly. So I want to get back the first name of that person. So first name, which you can clearly see if I hover on first name, you can see the raw detail is first name as is over here. So this is what you type in, first name. So from that array, I want to get back the first name where the permissions is. Notice by the way, we have to go deeper. So it's not just permissions. We have to expand on permissions, then go and check what read permissions this person has. So to do that in make.com, you just do the parent key dot child key. So what's the parent key? The parent key is permissions dot child key. The child key is read. So permissions dot read. Okay, and in this case I want to check if it is set to true or rather false. Okay, so I'll save on that, then let's run once. Let's see what we get back. So if I expand on that, you can see. Okay, why do I keep on forgetting? Okay, anyways, you get the point. It's not meant to be called high ticket interests. But if I expand on this, let's see, we only have one employee who doesn't have read permissions. And if you clearly go back here, we need to see that it's only Liam who has a false on the read permissions. All the others have true, 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 true. Can clearly get the picture. The point of this example was to show you how you can be able to filter down further if you have objects nested within objects. Okay, so in this case, since we want to check not the role, not the email, but we want to check the read permissions, we have to do permissions.read. If we were to go even deeper, if this read wasn't a boolean in this case, but rather another object, we would do permissions.read.something. You get the point? So it's parent key dot child key dot child key dot child. You get the point. Okay, so I'll save on this. Now let's ramp it up further. Go to the next example. So I'll take this scheduler over here, then unlink this. So I can reconnect you over here and take you down here. So I'll unlink you so that we see what we're doing here. So this next list, this is a bit more complex, but just to get us to understand how we're able to play around with this function. So this is a list of products and their respective details in regard to their sales, etc. So let's assume this is for an e-commerce company. We have product 1, which is a wireless headphone. It's in the electronics category. Its price is that. Is it in stock? Yes. And the sales information is, yes, it was sold last month. The number of items sold last month was 120. And the last sale was on this specific day. Can do the same thing for the other products. We have organic coffee beans, and their sales information is, was it sold last month? Yes. And the number of items sold was 450. Perfect. But for another product here called a yoga mat, it wasn't sold last month. So let's say I want to get back a list of the items that weren't sold last month, so that we can maybe do some better decision making on whether we need to drop that item, etc. So in this case, we should expect to get back yoga mat. What else? Only yoga mat actually. So for this, let me save on this. Let me come over here. I want to map our array. So I'll pass in the array there. Let me just expand it so that we can see the fields. So I want to check through our list of products to get back the name of the item. So if I hover on that, you can see the raw item is name. So I'll just type in name. So I want to get back the name of products where the sales information. So I'll just delete that also. So I want to get back the sales info dot sold in last month. Okay. Man, I hate it when make.com starts popping up these pop-ups. I hate it. But anyways, work with what we have. Sales info dot sold in last month. Want to check if it's false. Okay, perfect. So if I save on this, run once, then if I just center it and expand on the list of items you get back is yoga mat. Okay, so you can see that's working perfectly. I could go back here and just change this to true, and I would get back the other items that were actually sold. So if I run once on that, expand on this, we should be able to see wireless headphones, organic coffee beans, and the leather wallet were actually sold last month. But let's say I don't want to just get back one item. You know, in this case, we have just been working with, we want to get back one item, like the name or the email. You know, let me just expand this so that you can see the stuff. So let's say in this case, I want the name or just the price. But what if I have a situation where I want to get back the products, but not just the name? I want the name and its price. So what do I do in this case? I wish it could be as simple as just coming here and doing name. I want the name and the price of items where sold last month is equal to true. Or in this case, sold last month is equal to false. So let's turn this into false. And let's save this. If it was as simple as this, let me run once. You see, this doesn't work. If I expand on the array, you can see it's an empty array. If it was as simple as that, that would be better. But you can clearly see the map function. In this specific part of the function, it requires only one item. So what we are forced to do is we will need to use the set multiple variables module. So for that, instead of using the set variable module, we need to use the set multiple variables. So that you set the first variable for a list of the names, then set the next variable for a list of the prices, then you will aggregate them at the end together, matching them. This name is for this price. This name is for this price, etc. So we'll do that practically so that you can see it in action. So I'll close that, and we were actually doing it up here. So what I'll do is I'll unlink this, then take this up here. Okay. Then let me connect it in there accordingly, then expand on this. Okay. So you know what? Let's just do it practically. Instead of following on that, let me unlink this. Then let's add a set multiple variables module. Okay. Then the first item we want is the name of the item. Okay. So if I expand on this, want to map from this array, we want the name. Okay. Forgot, you don't click on it, you type it in. Okay. The name of the product where sales info dot, if I expand on this, dot sold in last month dot sold in last month is equal to false. Okay, then I can close on that. So that's set for the name. Now let's set for the price. So I'll come here and say price. In this case, I can just copy all that is happening over here and paste it in there. Then if I scroll down here, I want to map the array to get back the price where the sold in last month is equal to false. Make sense? Then I'll save on that. Then if I run once on this, then expand on this, you're able to see we get back two items. Each item is an array. And if I expand on each array, you're able to see we have the name of the item and the respective price. You know, so that we're able to see a bunch of records. Let me say I want to get back a list of items that were actually sold last month. Okay. Okay, so in this case, let me come back here. Instead of sold in last month being false, let's turn it to true, so we can get back a bunch of items. Okay, point is the concept. True. I'll save on that. Then let's run once. If I expand on that, you're able to see we get back a list of names and their respective prices. You can see wireless headphone, and that's its price. Organic coffee beans, and that's its price. Leather wallet, and that's its price. Now, the fact that these items are arranged in order, and we know that name 1 over here matches price 1 over here, and that name 2 over here matches price 2 over here, and that name 3 over here matches price 3 over here. The fact that is the case, that's what's going to enable us to aggregate them accurately. If it were the case that name 1 over here doesn't match price 1 over here, then the aggregation wouldn't work accurately. But the fact that always we are assured that make.com will list them in order, that's what we're banking on. So for this, we will need to loop through the list of names, and for each name, attach its price. For each name, attach its price. So for that, we'll add an iterator. Okay. What do we want to iterate through? We want to iterate through the list of names that we get back. Perfect. So let me save on that. And for each name, we want to attach its price to it. So how we do that is we use a text aggregator. So for that, I'll add a text aggregator over here. The source module is our iterator, and the text is, we want for each product, we want to get the name, and the name in this case will just be that value we get over there. Okay, I need to put colon, then the value. Then we want to attach its price accordingly. But how do we do that? Okay, so price, then now we need to pass in the value. So we can't simply just click on price over here, because this is a list of prices. Remember that we're not looping through the prices here, we are looping through the names. Okay, so if we were to get the specific price that we want to attach to our product name over here, we would need to access that specific price within the list of prices. So for this, I'll backspace on that, then expand on the price over here, then select that. So you can see we're able to select a single price, not the entire list of prices. We just want to select a single price to attach to our product name. But in this case, you see where the cursor is, it's empty. It's expecting a number. That is, do you want to access the first price, or do you want to access the second price, or do you want to access the third price? So if I want to access the first price, I'd put in 1 over there. If I want to access the second price, I'd put in 2 over there. If I want to access the third price, I'd put 3 over there. But in this case, we don't want to hard code the value. We want to get this from the bundle order position. Okay, so the beauty about working with an iterator is we're able to check what position are we within the loop. Are we looping through the first product name, or are we looping through the second product name, or are we looping through the third product name? If we're looping through the first product name, then bundle order position would be 1. I know this is not typed in as 1, it's saying wireless headphones. So this is an issue with make.com, but just know that this bundle order position would be the number 1. Okay, if we were looping through the second product name, this bundle order position would be 2. And this is what would help us determine what price are we trying to access. Are we trying to access the second price or the first price? Okay, so that's why we need to pass in the bundle order position over here. So if I save on this, then run once, run anyways, we should be able to see the text aggregator. So you're able to see we have the wireless headphones and the respective price. Oh, we need to close our object. So you don't leave it like that. You have to close the object. Perfecto. And also add a comma. Why is this? Is so that we're able to separate the objects, separate the different products. So save on that. Then let me run once, run anyways. Then if I zoom on this, expand, should be able to see the first product that was sold last month, the second product that was sold last month, and the final product that was sold last month. But now this is a text. We need it in JSON. So for this, would pass JSON. So we'll take it to a pass JSON module that takes in a JSON string and converts it into a JSON object that we're able to work with throughout our workflow, okay? Or rather throughout our scenario. So for this, I'd have a JSON, or rather parse JSON module, which takes in a JSON string. So let's build our JSON string from scratch. So for this, we want an array, okay, where the array is a list of products that were sold last month. So I'll close the object over there. And what does this list contain? It contains our list of products over here. But we can't just pass it like this. I wish it was as simple as this, but we can't just pass it like this. Why is this? Is because there is a comma at the end that is misplaced. If I just save on this, let me save on that, then expand on this, you're able to see there's a comma at the end here that is misplaced. Okay? So this comma isn't meant to be here. And that's why we need to split this text to have a list of these items all separated. Okay? So that we have something like this. Let me just open JSON editor. Just remove that. Then let me, what I do is I'll select all this, take it over here. So let me paste this within JSON editor so that we're able to see what we're trying to do here. So first of all, one thing I've noticed is this name needs to have, it needs to be in quotation. So I'll come back here, the text aggregator, ensure that the name has quotations as well as the price itself. So all of them need to have the respective double quotes. Then I'll save on that. Let's just run once on that. Run anyways. Okay, let's see what's the result of this. If I expand on this, select all that, go back here to JSON editor. So let me paste that in there. So you're able to see this comma over here is misplaced. Okay? So what we want to do is to be able to split this text that you're seeing here into a list of products. Okay? So for what we want to have is a list, and the list contains each product. Okay? So I'll have the first product there, comma, then the second product, comma, then the third product without an ending comma. Okay? So we would have an array over here. And that's the function of the split function over here. So we would come here, get this text over here, then just add a split command, a split function. Wrap it in a split function. And we want to split it by the comma. So that's why you need to add a comma over there. But notice this split command gives us an array over here. We don't want an array like this. Otherwise this wouldn't work. If I just Control X on that and just come here where we're having split over here and remove all that and paste in our value over here, this wouldn't work. You can see there are two square brackets on that. That wouldn't work. So that's why we need to use another function called the join function, which takes in a list of items and merges them into one text, so that we have a final output of something like this. Let me show you. A final output of something like this without the ending comma over here. So that this can be easily inserted within our function over here, and this would be perfectly okay. As you can see, that's syntactically correct. Okay, so for that we would need to use the join. Can I really type join function? Wrap the entire thing in a join function, and we want to concatenate it. It's a complex word actually. Anyways, concatenate it by the comma. Okay, perfect. Also in this split, I forgot, you have to have it by the comma. Okay, so I'll save on that. Then let's run once on that. Run anyways. Then if I expand on that, you're able to see an array of our products and the respective prices of products that were actually sold last month. Perfect. And yeah, that's it. That's the tutorial for today. You've been able to master working with the map function. Very powerful function, I have to say, because you're going to be working with a lot of data. When you're working with data, you're going to be working with lists. You're going to be working with arrays, which is imperative to be able to filter down items within the list based on certain criteria. So if you found value from this video, go ahead and smash that like button. If you don't want to work with our team to build such powerful AI or automation systems, go ahead and click the link in the description. And that's it from me. Till next time, stay serving. Peace.